The 1960s gave us the blueprint of soul, but not every gem made the spotlight. While Motown and Stax ruled the charts, other records quietly stirred hearts in jukebox corners and smoky lounges. From forgotten debut masterpieces to deep cuts from legends, these are 10 underrated 60s R&B albums that deserved far more love. Number 10, The Real Thing by Tina Britt. One-hit soul wonder, full album knockout. Released in 1969 on Veep Records, Tina Britt's debut and only LP arrived just as the decade was turning. Most folks know her for the gospel-tinged single Sookie Sookie, but this album offered so much more. Produced by Juggy Murray of Sue Records fame, the record blended deep Southern soul grooves with New York polish, giving Tina the space to wail, whisper, and testify. Tina had the raw vocal fire of Aretha, but none of the promotion. The label was on its last legs, distribution was spotty, and the LP barely got a review. But the songs burned with authenticity. Tracks like Look and Who Was That sound like Lost Muscle Shoals sessions. You can almost feel the organ swells, the heartache, and the quiet fire. Imagine the vinyl spinning in a lonely apartment, someone nursing their pain with this record on repeat. A hidden jewel, rediscovered by crate diggers decades later. Number 9, King and Queen by Otis Redding and Carla Thomas. Stax royalty, in a duet album that slipped through the cracks. Released in 1967 on Stax Records, this album paired two Memphis giants, Otis Redding, the raw-throated preacher of heartbreak, and Carla Thomas, the poised queen of Memphis soul. On paper, it sounds like a hit factory, and yet, this gem never got the spotlight it deserved. The album was a last-minute idea, designed to capitalize on Otis's growing fame and Carla's chart presence. Recorded in just 6 days at Stax's famed studio, the duo breezed through covers like It Takes Two and Tramp with easy chemistry. But it was the deep cuts such as Knock on Wood and Lovey Dovey that revealed their contrasting styles. Otis's growl met Carla's velvet in a way that made every song feel like a private conversation. Critics often dismissed it as a throwaway duet album, but that was a mistake. It was playful, intimate, and soaked in the Stax House Band's groove. You could hear Booker T's organ humming like a heartbeat behind every line. Had Otis lived longer, maybe they would have made more. Instead, King and Queen remains a single overlooked snapshot of two legends sharing one mic and one unforgettable mood. Number 8. This is Jackie Wilson.
My heart is crying, crying, lonely teardrop.
By Jackie Wilson. The voice was golden, but this album was buried in time. In 1967, Jackie Wilson was in transition. He was caught between his early pop success and the deeper soul revolution taking over the charts. This album was his attempt to evolve, and what a statement it was. Released on Brunswick Records, it showed a richer, more emotional Jackie.
Just give me up!
He was less showman and more storyteller. Tracks like I've Lost You and Somebody Up There Likes You let him stretch out vocally. He could soar 1 minute and sigh the next. The orchestration leaned lush, with strings and horns echoing the sophistication of what Marvin and Curtis would explore later. But it did not chart. The reasons were complex. Label politics played a role. The market was saturated.
Come on, baby.
And Jackie, for all his vocal greatness, never quite had the album legacy he deserved. Give this one a spin today, and you will hear a masterclass in control, drama, and deep feeling, like watching a storm roll in over silk. Number 7, Rainy Night in Georgia by Brooke Benton.
To spend the night.
An album overshadowed by its own brilliance. Most folks remember the haunting single Rainy Night in Georgia, released in late 1969 and hitting big in early 1970. But few realize it came from an album of the same name. A soulful, moody masterpiece from Brooke Benton that barely made a ripple beyond its title track. Brooke had been a pop crooner in the early 60s, known for smoother hits.
Such a rainy night in Georgia.
But this album showed a man reborn. It was Southern soul, wrapped in mist. Spacious arrangements, low lights, and that velvet voice telling stories of loss, distance, and longing. My Way and A Little Bit of Soap were not chart burners, but they revealed Benton at his most vulnerable. The album was produced by Arif Mardin and featured some of the Muscle Shoals crew, adding depth and groove in all the right places. But it was released at a time when soul was turning funkier and flashier.
Baby, it's a rainy night in Georgia.
Benton's subdued elegance got lost in the noise. It is a rainy day album in every sense. Put it on, and you are there. Leaning against the window pane, letting memories wash over you. Number 6, presenting the fabulous Ronettes.
I want him.
Featuring Veronica Wall of sound, but with soul that never got its due. Released in 1964 on Phillies Records, this was the Ronettes' only studio album. And what a stunner it was. Be My Baby was the breakout hit, and Phil Spector's Wall of Sound production is all over it. But buried in this LP is a raw, aching vocal performance from Ronnie Spector that transcends the pop packaging.
When he's near me.
This was not just a girl group record. Tracks like You Baby and Do I Love You simmered with longing, while Walking in the Rain added thunder and atmosphere. Ronnie's voice cut through it all, bruised and bold. But timing was unkind. The Beatles had just landed, Motown was surging, the Ronettes were caught in the middle. Beloved, but never quite crowned.
They would never know, they never.
It was not just a pop artifact. It was a Hodges album in disguise. If these forgotten gems are lighting up old memories or sending you crate digging, hit that like button. It helps this community of soul lovers keep growing. And stick around, because the top 5 albums ahead might just change the way you hear the 60s. Number 5, Soul Sister by Tina Turner, Without Ike. Her rawest fire, before the world was ready to hear it. Released in 1968 by Liberty Records, Soul Sister is one of the rare Tina Turner albums where she takes near full vocal command. Despite the branding still listing Ike and Tina Turner, this was clearly her artistic showcase. From the opening track I Know to the storming Somebody Somewhere Needs You. Tina delivers ferocity, vulnerability, and emotional grit few singers could match. The sessions were raw and the arrangement sparse. That space gave Tina the chance to howl and stretch. She did not just sing about heartbreak, she embodied it. Although the Ike and Tina Live show was known for its high energy, this studio album captured something quieter and deeper. It gave a rare glimpse of Tina's emotional depth. Sadly, it never got the recognition it deserved. Perhaps the industry still saw her in Ike's shadow, or perhaps they were simply unprepared for a woman this powerful. Either way, This record proved that Tina Turner was already a solo force years before the 1980s sealed her legend. Now, get ready. This next album did not even make the charts, but it might be the most emotionally honest entry on our list. Number 4, I'm a Loser by Doris Duke.
I say yes.
Deep soul pain, pressed into vinyl. Released in 1969 by Canyon Records, I'm a Loser by Doris Duke is the definition of a cult classic. Produced by Swamp Dogg, also known as Jerry Williams Jr., this record captures what fans of deep Southern soul hold sacred. It is stripped back and unflinching, the kind of album you do not listen to so much as feel. Songs like To the Other Woman, I'm the Other Woman, are as brutally honest as they come.
Everybody calls me stupid, but plain.
Toba sings from the perspective of the outsider, the overlooked, the heartbroken. Her delivery is not flashy. It is weary, wise, and unforgettable. The sparse Muscle Shoals style arrangements create space for her words to hit like confessions. The album barely sold, no radio hits, no awards. But over the years, it became a whispered recommendation. The kind of record passed between collectors and old souls who knew its value. It remains one of the most emotionally raw albums in R&B history. Next up is a record from a superstar who stepped away from the limelight and gave us something deeply personal. This one hurts in the best way. Number 3, The Two Sides of Mary Wells by Mary Wells.
Can't get no satisfied.
The comeback album that got swept under the rug. After parting ways with Motown in 1964, Mary Wells seemed poised for a huge solo breakthrough. She had just topped the charts with My Guy and was one of the label's brightest stars. But legal battles and poor label decisions stalled her momentum. Then, in 1966, she released The Two Sides of Mary Wells on Atco Records. It was a rich, revealing album that never got its fair shake. Side A offered her classic pop sensibility. Songs like Satisfaction and Never Never Leave Me delivered catchy melodies and polished production. But it was Side B that held the real gold. Tracks like Dear Lover and Can't You See, You're Losing Me featured stripped-down arrangements and emotional depth that showcased Mary at her most vulnerable. The label failed to promote the album, and it vanished into obscurity. But the songwriting, vocal delivery, and grown-up perspective were ahead of their time. This was not teen pop. It was adult soul.
Let me tell you, I tried, and I tried. I can't get no.
It was the sound of a woman evolving in real time. If you want to hear Mary Wells not just as a Motown star, but as a fully formed artist with something to say, this is the record. And if Mary showed us quiet reinvention, the next album is pure storm and redemption. A comeback that hit hard but still flew under the radar. Number 2, Tell Mama by Etta James.
Want to love you and give you the world. Now you found it.
More than just a title track, a full-body soul revival. In 1968, Etta James released Tell Mama on Cadet Records, and while the title track became a regional hit, the full album delivered so much more. Recorded at the legendary Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals, this project marked a creative and emotional rebirth for Etta. After years battling addiction and personal turmoil, she returned with one of the fiercest records of her career.
She wasn't worth all the time that you spent. She had other men.
The standout track, I'd Rather Go Blind, was reportedly recorded in a single emotional take. It remains one of the most heart-wrenching performances in soul history. But the rest of the album is no less powerful. Songs like Security and The Love of My Man showcased her incredible range and ability to switch from defiance to despair with a single phrase. Though critics praised the album, it was released in a turbulent year. Music was shifting quickly, and Tell Mama got lost in the shuffle.
She would embarrass you anywhere.
But in the years since, artists have covered it, sampled it, and worshipped it. The emotional weight is undeniable. Only one more to go. A record that did not just fly under the radar. It never even got close to its due. Number 1. Baby Washington. At Her Best by Baby Washington, the soul queen who never got her crown. Released in 1967 on Sue Records, Baby Washington at Her Best is not just a clever album title. It is a quiet declaration from one of R&B's most overlooked artists. Born Justine Washington, she was already a veteran of the jukebox circuit. Her 45s lit up dance halls and corner bars along the East Coast, but her full-length work remained underappreciated. This LP pulled together some of her strongest sides.
You are as sweet as sugar.
Songs like That's How Heartaches Are Made and I Can't Wait Until I See My Baby's Face are nothing short of masterful. Her phrasing was unique. She sang like she was telling you a secret. She could sound warm and detached all at once, carrying layers of emotion without ever breaking into melodrama. Baby Washington was not flashy. She did not belt, but she could convey a world of feeling in a single line. Dusty Springfield once called her one of the best singers alive. Record collectors still hunt for her vinyl with reverence. The album never made the charts. It was released with little fanfare, but it endures. Baby Washington at Her Best is a lesson in soul minimalism. Intimate, patient, and painfully real. It deserves to be spoken in the same breath as Aretha and Gladys. From deep confessionals to lost masterpieces, these underrated R&B albums from the 60s prove that soul music is not just about what tops the charts. It is about what touches the heart and lingers long after the final note fades. Thank you for spending time with us on this journey through the overlooked and unforgettable. If this list sent you digging into your own collection or opened your ears to a new favorite, hit that subscribe button. There is more hidden soul waiting to be discovered. And do not stop now. Click the end screen to explore our countdown of 10 R&B bands that finally retired in 2026. Trust us, you will want to hear what lands at number 1. Stay soulful. See you in the next one.